Hello, you may remember me talking on a previous book review about this set of books. The first one, which I haven't got with me today, is called Scythe. The second one, Thunderhead, and the third one, The Toll. All written by New York Times bestselling author Neal Shusterman. And I read these because my daughter Georgia felt that I would enjoy them, because I enjoy fantasy, science fiction, thrillers, all those type of things. And she wasn't wrong. This is a superb trilogy to read. The first one, Scythe, sets the scene, which I will remind you. We are in a post-mortal era. So in this era, death has basically been conquered. All illness has been conquered. Nobody dies of old age or any kind of illness at all. When you get to a certain age, you can turn the corner and become young again. So in a world where no one dies through any kind of natural cause or through old age, what happens to world population? Well, it grows, and the new religion almost of this world are the scythes, and they are treated in a religious and fanatical way, and they are governed by law, and they are people that go through a training program, and they are the people that basically they scythe and whittle down the population. They decide who will die, and they don't use the word die, they use the word gleaned. They glean people in order to keep the population down. And controlling this big world is something called the Thunderhead, which we would think of as today as the internet. It's obviously become intelligent and forward thinking. It's a advancement of AI. It's growing, it's learning, and it controls the world. The only thing it doesn't control are the scythes. It's not allowed to interfere with scythe behaviour, scythe decisions. The scythe sits apart, almost like Parliament and the law, two different things. So that's what happens in the first book, and you meet the two main protagonists, who are Citra and Roman and Rowan, and they are both apprentice scythes. And they go on a journey, and their paths are very, very different, although there's a love interest between them. In the second book, called The Thunderhead, their story deepens because the scythes are becoming very fractured as an organisation. You've got old school who honour the old way of doing things. They think very carefully about who is to be gleaned. They base it upon statistics of world population and who dies of different ages. Whereas there's a new order of scythes coming through who believe that they are powerful and that they are all seeing, and what they say goes, and that if they want to do mass gleanings or basically massacres, they can do so. That they're almost without impunity, and there's one of them, Robert Goddard, who's coming through in this book, who's leading the way. And it becomes clear that Roman and Citra, as young apprentices, are going to be two people that come through to fight against Robert Goddard and his new scythe order. This book ends with a terrible tragedy, and you do think, how is that going to go? And I think this is the book is the hardest to get through, because often in a trilogy, when you get to the middle, it sags a bit. You feel like it's getting a bit heavy. It's like, really? Oh, it's, I'm struggling to read the next bit. It's losing some of its pace. And I'm not going to lie to you, this does happen a bit in this, to me anyway, just as it did with Lord of the Rings in the Two Towers. When you read it the first time, it's almost quite exhausting. It takes another reading for you to read it 2 or 3 times to realise that actually that's probably the best book of all 3. But with this one, yeah, it did begin to lag, but not enough for me not to want to read the final book, which is called The Toll. Here. And this is the biggest one, as you can see. But I have to say, the story picks up again here. And it's absolutely fantastic. It'll take you in directions you can never even dream of. It's imaginative, it's thoughtful, it's fast-paced. You follow Citra and Roman and other characters in it with bated breath. It creates a world where there's no issues around gender or sexuality or anything like that, and it all feels right. And it ends with a crescendo where you think, really? I never guessed it, and I'm usually quite good at guessing endings. Didn't guess this one. And also at the end of it, you get that sense of, yeah, there could be a follow-up. There could be a follow-up, but I'm not going to give anything away. I wouldn't want to take anything away from you if you're going to read this set of 3 books, and certainly not with the toll. It's a fantastic read, full of imagination. Yeah, I know it's teen fiction, but anyone who's got a bit of a teenager in them like me will love this set of books. It's well worth your money. So yeah, go out and buy it. That's it for this week. Please subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications.